today I want to talk about fibroid, because this is a common issue that a lot of women are dealing with, and they are not addressing the root cause of the issue. This is the reason why they are not seeing improvements in getting rid of fibroid. Now, I know that for most women, they have two options, and the first option is either you go for a surgery to remove it. Now, when you go for a surgery to remove it, in most cases we have seen whereby the fibroid tends to grow back, simply because the root cause of the issue was not addressed. So it is just like you are having a tree, and a tree has branches and has its roots, and when you go for surgery, what it means is just like you are maybe cutting off the branches and the root is still there, and that is why it tends to grow back. So if you really want to address fibroid, you need to pull out the roots to stop what is causing the fibroids. Now, for people who also treat it naturally, they tend to also go the same route, kind of, because what they are just looking for is give me that herb that will help to uproot fibroids. And sometimes they are successful and sometimes they are not successful due to the nature of fibroid. And sometimes these fibroids can be so calcified that it's really going to take something really strong that can even damage your stomach, actually, if you take it in to really pull out those fibroids when you are taking a herb. This is the reason why a lot of people are not getting the true results that they desire. It is really more than just either going for a surgery or taking a herb. You need to address the root cause of the problem. Now, what exactly is the root cause of the problem? When you're having fibroid, you need to know that you're having a hormonal issue, and that is an excess of estrogen in your body, simply termed as estrogen dominance. You are having lots of estrogen and low levels of progesterone in your body. This situation favors the growth of fibroid in your body. Now, the reason why you must not overlook this, and why you might not say, well, I'm having fibroids and it's not disturbing me, is because this situation, again, estrogen dominance, plays a great role in the development of cancer. So even if your fibroids are not disturbing you right now, you are making yourself a victim of cancer by staying in this situation for a much more longer period of time, because estrogen dominance also opens the door to cancer, progression and generation. What are some of the things that causes fibroid? Basically, it stems from a wrong lifestyle and a wrong environment. Now, some of those things are, number one, what you eat. Right now, we have a lot of all these synthetic chickens, which are fed with growth hormones, a lot of antibiotics for them to be able to grow big, so that they can be sold off for profit. Now, when you eat all these things, all this catfish too that is grown artificially just to make them big, they are fed lots of different things just to make them big. Now, when you are eating these things constantly, those hormones which those animals are being fed, when you eat them, those hormones also go into you, and then they also have those same effects that those things we are having in those animals that you are eating. If you really want to avoid fibroids, or you want to eliminate your fibroids, you really have to consider what you are eating. Anything that has those growth hormones in them, that is grain fed, you do not want it in your diet. Another thing is, we ladies, we know how to use so many creams on our body, and a lot of these chemicals, they seep directly into our bloodstream, where they're able to cause so many hormonal dysfunctions which we cannot explain. So it is important for you to actually know what you are putting on your skin. It is really important for you to know it. The lesser the amount of things you put on your skin, the much more better it is for you. And as much as possible, if you are putting anything on your body as a lady, it should really be as natural as possible. Another thing that can cause estrogen dominance is the use of plastics. Now, plastics, or maybe like eating, drinking water, and a lot of things, these plastics are endocrine disruptors when they get into our body, and so they are able to cause estrogen dominance in our body. Another important thing is the use of hair relaxers. So there are a lot of researches and studies that have shown that hair relaxers in women, tend to promote the growth of fibroids. So if you are dealing with fibroids, these are some of the things you can consider. In our educational consultation section with clients, we tend to take them through a lot of other things that they might be doing wrong that can, through their lifestyle, make them potential candidates of fibroids, and would also hinder or stall their progress when they are trying to eliminate fibroids. Another important thing is also, like I talked about, our diet. Now there are some herbs that we take and we think we are trying to use it to cure fibroids, not knowing that we are making ourselves more estrogen dominant as a result of that. So you also have to be careful as to what herbs you are really trying to put into it, because you might be thinking you are trying to eliminate fibroid, not knowing you are making it even to grow much more. So now when it comes to healing, I tell a lot of people healing is not linear. It means that, and what I mean is that because you are having fibroid does not mean that you are just going to go all out to address estrogen dominance. If you do it that way, you're not going to get results. What we tend to see is that there are other factors, because the body is complex, and because it is complex, it is still interconnected. So with women who are having fibroids, we tend to see a lot of interconnections, a lot of issues in the body, and I'll be giving some examples. Like we have what we call internal stressors, and those internal stressors are things like infection. Now in most women who are having fibroids, we tend to see a lot of infections in them. These infections have been there for a long period of time. In fact, some people would have said, I've treated infections back then, and they thought it had gone. Meanwhile, it was still there, lurking and lingering in the body, and they did not know about it. So you must treat that. You must address every form of infection in your body, and that is why you just need to test and test and test and test and test and test and test. Yes, that is what health is all about. So another important thing again is that you must fix your gut. A lot of people who are dealing with fibroids tend to have bad guts. When I mean bad guts, I mean that they have a lot of gut dysbiosis. Their guts are simplified. We tend to see leaky guts. So we need to fix all these things. If we do not fix them, then we are not really going to make any progress when it comes to eliminating fibroids from your body. Another important thing again that has to be fixed is the liver. Now we know that the liver is an organ that really aids in detoxification, and when it comes to removing excess estrogen, the liver is also an important tool in doing this. But as a result of wrong lifestyle and a lot of things, we are not having that efficient liver that is able to pull out toxins. So we need to work on the liver to ensure that the liver is now up and doing, and it's functioning to be able to help you in the removal of toxins. So we need to work on your phase 1 and your phase 2 and your phase 3 detoxification to ensure that you are detoxing properly. And when we talk about detoxification, a lot of people think detoxification is just going to go and blend or juice some vegetables, some fruits, and you start taking them for some period of time and you think you are detoxifying. Please, you are deceiving yourself. That is not what detoxification is all about. Detoxification is really a complex step, and so if you do not know how to do it, please seek the help of a clinician who knows how to do it. Another thing you also need to fix to detoxify properly is methylation. A lot of people are having problems with methylation, so that has to also be fixed for you to be able to detoxify properly and efficiently. Another important thing that should also be addressed is your blood sugar levels. We want to ensure that your blood sugar is balanced. Now, you do not need to be diabetic for you to have blood sugar issues. That is why a lot of people have insulin resistance or even leptin resistant before they are diagnosed with diabetes. So a lot of people are having sugar issues and they do not know of it. And that is why all these things are things that we look at during our treatment sections, our educational sections, and we find a way to help you balance and fix all these things. Now, it is also important for you to know that when you are under a high stress, that means you're having a high cortisol level. The body naturally increases, the production of insulin, and insulin naturally would also increase the production of your blood sugar levels. So if you're not getting stress under control, definitely, even if you're eating right, you'll be having blood sugar imbalance, and you must fix that if you want to really eliminate fibroid. Another important thing again that you should also be aware of is when you are trying to fix or eliminate fibroids, your thyroid glands are very important. In fact, we tend to see a lot of women who have hypothyroidism. Most cases of hypothyroidism also are linked to or have an autoimmune issue attached to it, which is Hashimoto's. So all of these things must be addressed. All of these things must be fixed. It is not just a linear way. That is what health is all about. Health is not linear. Health is non-linear, and all of these things must be fixed so that you can be able to eliminate fibroids naturally. Now, another important thing for you to also know is that we also want you to have the good type of estrogen. So it is not all about you detoxifying and reducing estrogen in your body. We also want you to have the good type of estrogen, and then when you do that, you can now increase the production of progesterone naturally in your body. So a lot of women think they are doing a lot of things right, when on the contrary, they are really just scratching the surface. When it comes to dealing with fibroids, it's a lot. You should be ready to invest in your health. See, healing is an investment, just like you are building a house. When you are sick and you want to really address the root cause of any issue, it is like you are building a house. So you should really be ready to invest in your health. If you are not ready to invest in your health, you are only going to continue managing symptoms, and your house will be on fire, your body will be on fire, and you will not be able to set that fire out, which opens the door to a lot of other issues that we have talked about. Like I said, just estrogen dominance alone, when it stays long, it makes you a potential victim of cancer, and we do not want that. So you need to address all this, and by the time you do all this, you'll see that when your lab starts looking very good, fibroids will start shrinking naturally without you having to purge yourself with so many herbs. A lot of people take so many herbs that they just run into the toilet, purging themselves, looking so slim, and at the end of the day, they are not really achieving results, because that is not the right way to go about it. So please, if you need help in dealing with fibroids, kindly send us a message so that we can book your educational consultation, whereby we would take you by the hands and guide you on this journey to healing and regeneration.